Another Milk Crate moment. Today, my special guest is Rick Tamlin. And for those of you who were soap opera fans, you may remember back to when Rick was
It was the
on
60s. Come on.
to the 60s. You may not remember back that far. If you're old enough to remember back to the 60s, you may not
It was
remember
the
that.
80s.
But Rick is a friend of mine, and he's actually in a new business now since acting, but you're still
Yeah.
acting. So let's talk about that for a moment before we go into the Milk Crate moment. Do you mind?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I come out of the entertainment industry, right? And have quote unquote used the power of performance, the power of sort of emotions, the power of presence, the power of your impact, because that's what entertainers do, right? Is
Right.
to bring all of that learning and that philosophy and that ideology and that way of being. I help people put their good work into the world. I call it Produce You. That's the year-long program, and I really it's there's business development and there's personal development. I call this impact development.
Oh, I love that.
I'm in the impact development business because we all want to have more impact. And how do you do that? And how do you do it dynamically instead of just like, here's my information? Nobody buys information. People actually need to be inspired to buy the information.
Well, let's go
Yeah.
back for just a moment
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
talk about your Milk Crate moment, if
Yeah.
you
I know.
wouldn't mind sharing that, because that's going to lead us right back to even a bigger piece of what you do.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, first
Okay.
of all, I love the name of your podcast, Gene. It's such a great, like, that moment where you're like, whoa, right? Like,
That moment you're crying and snot's
yeah,
coming out, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This isn't exactly that, but I want to give it a sort of a spin or a perspective from the business side. So I have been putting on live big events now for 10 years. Actually, 2023 is my 10th year anniversary of
Wow.
events, right? And I'll try as short as possible. The very first one, it was pretty much a TED-like conference, lots of people speaking. I was the glue between. I even hired Elizabeth Gilbert. She cost me a lot of money. She's the Eat, Pray, Love gal. Love her book, Big Magic. She did a big magic talk. It was a wildly successful event, but I'll be very transparent. Lost $35,000. Okay,
Mm.
right? Get people to come to an event. I thought Elizabeth Gilbert would like nail it. Oh my God, I'm going to get 1,000 people. Nope. What I got was, here's the feedback I got. Rick, I came to hear you. I didn't come to a TED conference. I came to a Rick Tamlin event, and because I had a lot of people I've been training and speaking for the last 40 years of my life. So I have a lot of quote unquote followers
Right.
who are like, I came to a Rick Tamlin experience. So that was the doorway in. And then of course I needed business help. It was like, this is not a good business model to lose 30,000, because I did another one. I won't go into the details, but lost $25,000 in that one. Okay. So 2 rounds of what the hell, right? I'm getting people into the room. I'm feeding them. We're having great conversations, and I'm going away broke.
Right.
So the big Milk Crate moment was the realization, because I didn't even know this existed, that I could make an offer to work with me from the stage. Like, what? It didn't, like, I hadn't even occurred to me. I thought you get paid to speak or you're a coach, but the concept of quote unquote making an offer or selling from the stage was beyond my wildest understanding. However, my husband and partner in business life, we created this product called Produce You, the letter U, and we kind of created, it's a year-long thing. We put a price tag on it, had 150 people in the room at the time. This is year 4 of this. And here's what's happening. In myself, these are people who adore me. Let's put it that way. Like, I love you. I follow you. I've learned from you. I took your coaching workshops. And I'm going to now turn this around and sell them a year-long program. I don't know where this comes from. I hope you all relate. But inside, my brain is like, I am turned this over to the devil. They are going to turn on me. Oh my God, he's selling us something. He has turned the corner to the evil dark side. This is what's going on inside my brain.
Mhm.
So the milk crate moment is stay with the plan, because I had a really good plan. I showed a video, I had them do an exercise, then I kind of walked them through my program, and then I said, I'll see you in the back of the room for anybody who's interested. Here's the acting part. And this is why this is called act as if, because inside my authentic self is having a meltdown,
Oh, sure.
right? Been there.
Been
Like,
there. Yeah.
right. Oh my God, they're going to turn on me and they're going to go all rough off and tell all their friends, because this is the business side. When you ask for the business and you ask for money, they're all going to run off and throw me under the bus. And he's turned into one of those people. That was the inside voice. Stay with the plan, act as if, stay with the plan. So I had to act my way through it. I'm still Rick Tamlin. I'm not becoming a new character, but I'm like, stay with the plan, show the video, like, follow the lines,
Right. Follow the
right?
formula.
Follow the formula, follow the script.
Right.
Because it, truth be told, and I want you all to hear this, I had to memorize that script because I knew I was going to be so freaked out. I could see it coming. So it was memorized.
Right.
Had to give it my own spin, had to bring my aliveness to it. But I acted my way through that beautiful moment. And it was it was a great, like, here's the reason why you should buy this. And I'll never forget it. The break happens. I think 28 people ran to the back of the room.
Whoa.
And we're like, and here's what happened. The other thing that I forgot to tell you. At the end of that offer, a standing ovation happened.
Oh my goodness.
It was the bizarrest, like, my husband's in the back and I'm going, why are they standing? And they literally said, they yelled out, because this is a small enough room, they could yell it out. They said, we've been waiting for this moment for years from you.
Oh,
Where have you been? Like, thank God we can finally hang out with you in a context and in a conversation and in a production and in a plan to get my work into the world, because I want you to help me do that. And I've been waiting for you to kind of offer this thing. So 27 people ran to the back of the room and I'm like, ah. So, milk crate sort of success, but, milk crate meltdown.
oh, absolutely. I get it.
But stay, right? And from a business context, we get all twisted when we ask people to buy us. But you know what we're asking people to buy? We're asking people to buy the dream of their better life.
Right.
And we are simply the vehicle and the container and the guide or the mentor and the coach and whatever role you want to call us. We're that container and that sort of collaborator, and in my language, co-producer of that work you want to put into the world. So here we are in year 7 of this now, and I still do an event like that. It's all gone virtual, as you all know, which even took it up a whole nother notch. Now I'm like in Europe and I'm in Asia, and because, the big screens and the whole TV thing, and, it's just become a fun, fascinating, wild ride. And so I don't know if that makes sense as a milk crate moment, but it certainly was a game changing from fear. Here's the language of it: from complete terrorizing fear to absolute love. And I'm going to get Phyllis. You're right. There's only 2 energies in the universe, everybody: fear and love.
I will say that, number one, I can so resonate with your milk crate moment. That was what I did, Rick.
Yeah.
You and I have never talked about this, but my first
Yep.
event that I made an offer at sucked.
Mm.
And it sucked because
Yeah.
I was so scared.
Right.
And I had never had acting classes.
Right. You couldn't sort of find your way through it. Right. Sort of like,
and I was sweating profusely and just
right.
almost in tears, and nobody signed up.
Yeah.
And I came back home and I sat at my desk for a week like this.
Yeah.
And a week later, I went out to the car and I got my information. I pulled it. I had left it all in my car for a week, and I pulled it in and I started calling people and talking to them.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying this is because we all go through that, right?
Yeah.
if
Yes.
you're any sort of coach, you're going through that if you're selling anything.
Yeah.
And I had 3 people because
Mhm.
I called and I had a conversation with out of
Yeah.
16 people, there was only 16 in my room, Rick, and
Mhm.
out of 16, 3
Yeah.
said
Alright.
yes,
Alright.
and it changed everything for me.
Yeah,
It
all
it
this right.
I went
Right.
from losing money at because my business model at the beginning was the same as yours. Hold
Yeah.
an event and hug them on the way out the door, right?
Right.
Don't
Right.
make them an offer. Just
Right. Like, create an amazing experience.
exactly.
And, we do both, create an amazing experience, and by the way, don't you wanna experience more of this container and this holding and this thing that we're gonna do together? Join me for a year, right?
Yes, and oh
Right.
my gosh, I will tell you that
Yeah.
you have validated something for me today because honestly, Rick, I thought I was the only one doing that. I or had done
That
that.
like inside your head, right.
In my head, I felt like
Yeah.
what's wrong with me? I why did it take me so long? Right? But to now hear that
Yeah.
somebody of your and listen, I put you at a really high
Mm.
level in my mind. No, I put you at a high level, right? But I see
Well,
you as a high level entrepreneur and what you're doing out there. And I couldn't admire you any more than I already
mm,
do.
well,
So I'm so thank you for sharing that because that really that touched me. That it's like, oh, I did what Rick Tamlin did. Woo, yay for me. And now I
well,
know how your people felt.
yeah, and it's I mean, how do I don't wanna give it too much of a psychological spin, but there's a fascinating to your point, you have to you have to touch the you have to sort of touch the shadow side of, "Oh my god," and you stay with it.
Mm,
And here's the great distinction that I want to offer those of that are listening. It's never selling
right.
when it's serving, because if you believe in your product, whatever it is, whether you're selling a great orange cup or yellow cup, or whether you're selling a service, if you believe in it, it's always then an offer. It's never a sales moment, it's just an offering,
Yeah,
right? And an offering is like, here's the offer.
right.
Right. So we have this, many of us have a distorted viewpoint of selling and sales and oh my God, and that word, and we get triggered and activated and don't sell me, don't sell me, don't sell me. But man, if we don't have enough sort of a sense of the service you provide is so based in love and service rather than just survival for me.
Right.
I mean, that's a both. I survive from my service. I make a living from my service, and many of you out there want to make a living from your service.
Right.
And but back to kind of the acting moment, there's a way you want to be. There's this great term in the acting world called an actor prepares, and what that means is the actor does the inner work of the role they're playing, the inner work, not just the line memorization. The line memorizing is out here. But the inner work is the trauma, the drama, the upsets, in the acting world, when I would get a role in a play, we would actually have to write the life story of this character before they entered the part of where the story picks up.
Oh, interesting.
We had to give it background, or the director would also help and like, so here's the background of this actor. When they were 5, they were dropped on their head. I mean, like, we would fill it in.
Hmm.
So then that's the inner work. And so you come to the role now with this sort of robust inner life. And then the lines come out. But in terms of your business life or making an offer, she's like, there's no way around the inner work of this. There's no way around it.
Right.
And I mean inner work that's fascinating, not frustrating.
Right.
Be fascinated with this process rather than get perfectionistic with this process. Because this is a mess, right? This is messy. But you know what wins the day? Commitment to changing people's lives.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate winning game. You be committed to changing people's lives, whatever your business is,
Right.
it'll all work out.
Ah,
And stop looking for confidence. It's overrated. Be committed. Commitment is the antidote to doubt, not confidence.
well, right?
I get sort of wound up.
I love it, and I could listen to this all day, but I know you have things to do, and we want to
Right.
talk about what you have coming up.
Yeah.
So let's
So
talk
speaking of an
about that.
offer, I'm just going to be really blatant. It's a pretty reasonable offer. I'm a
It's an
fan of
amazing
the
offer.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the gathering, of the event model, if you will. And I want to do, before I name this, it's called the greenlightevent.com. You can all go check it out. But I want to offer a philosophy I have about gathering. And I trained a group of folks this morning, about 45 people, in this concept to help them with their work in the world. When we gather, when people who are committed and are dare I say, in the heart-centered space business, make a difference business, right? Whether you sell, pretty cups, it doesn't matter. But when you gather with committed people to make a difference in people's lives, and you get in a conversation that's guided, not just random, a guided, directed conversation about that, what does that look like for you? Business model, maybe. When you gather with people, and this is my spiritual hat going on for a second.
Okay.
The conversation goes up, the energy goes up, the wisdom goes up, the attraction goes up, dare I use that term? And you come out of something like that sort of spinning at a different vibration. And people feel that. We all know that when we go to sports events, we go to concerts, we get into these rooms where there's a collective room of people in a particular conversation, if you will, or experience, and it just changes the game. So that's why I love the event model.
I love the event model too.
I love the event model. It's first of all, I mean, you and I, we like to be in front of people, so it's good use of us. In this land, it's like I'm on TV. Like, the actor in me is like, I'm on TV, right?
Yes.
Right? Like right now, a little mini TV, like we're all on TV. So there's that model. But when my event, by the way, highly interactive, and breakouts and other speakers, and I bring in entertainers, and it's a very highly interactive experience. I'm just not lecturing for 3 days, which is, I want to underline that. The 3-day model. People are like, can you do it in 2? Can you do it in 1? Can you just send me the deck? How about the book?
Yeah. Is there a
Right?
recording?
Yeah, right. Is there a recording?
Yeah.
I mean, corporations, I do a lot of corporate leadership development work. They're like, I tell a 3-day. They're like, can you do it in 2? Yeah, actually, can you do it? And then I'd go 2. Can you do it in 1? It would end up with, can you just literally send us the slide deck?
Yeah. Wow.
I go, no, you've missed the whole point. So 3 days, I believe in the model of really settling in, putting aside your life, getting rid of the distractions, really giving this energy, because here's how this works. When you set aside 3 days for and this is my language, your impact development, your business development, the thing you want to put into the world, when you set aside 3 days for that, you know what you're telling yourself is, I mean business.
Yeah.
And you're telling yourself that, and then you're trustworthy to be able to say, I invested 3 days of understanding what it means to put my work in the world, and I mean business. And then who you're telling is the world. Because then you go tell the world, I just spent 3 days on getting clarity of what my work is in the world. Ready? You want to hear it? And people will go, yes.
Isn't it amazing that the people who go to conferences that you meet, you and I have been to a lot of the same conferences
Yep.
and meetings.
Yep.
Isn't it amazing that the ones who do that, they leave
Yep.
their business, they set it aside, just what you're
Right. They
talking
go like
about.
this.
They set it
Yep.
aside and really focus in on them and other like-minded people
Yep.
to increase their
No.
energy, also
Correct.
dramatically increase their revenue.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely. It goes hand in
Hand in
hand.
hand,
And it happens every single time.
100% of the time.
We just did it with we have a year-long program as well, and we just had 30 people gather in Palm Springs live. I won't go through the timeline. 3 days. And Jean, this is going to sound like I'm making this. I'm not. I don't remember the number, but between the time they left, which is last week, and today, the number of closed contracts that they have sent me, this just closed. I just got a new client. One of them just booked a TED talk. Like, I just got picked to be a TED speaker.
Wow.
Like, literally, I'm like, and I did a Facebook Live for all of them and said, do you guys get why we have to gather? You cannot do this alone.
Mm-mm.
You cannot do this alone. It's not possible when you want to play at this level. And the only requirement, by the way, to this type of work, if you're a thought leader and you want to get your work into the world, is the desire to impact people's lives. Yes, you want to make good income, but if you desire to want to impact people's lives, you know the philosophy, everybody, the income will follow if you're a responsible impactor and a responsible business owner.
I agree.
Right?
Oh my God.
So okay, there's the thing. There's the
greenlightevent.com, right? If you want to know what it's about, what Rick has been doing, this is his 3-day event, the greenlightevent.com. But wait, there's more.
You order before midnight tonight.
Because we're friends.
Yeah.
You said you would give my people or anybody who's watching this
the friend rate.
Friend rate, yeah. So what is that?
So the friend rate's $47, normally $97, still a reasonable deal for 3 days, right?
Oh,
$47.
$47 for 3 days. How much have you and I paid for 3 days in the past?
Yeah, don't even we can't even go there, right? And so yeah. Say it again.
It's virtual. So
totally virtual. However, we've all learned the art, and we got super creative when COVID said because I used to do live like you now and went virtual. Mm-hmm. We go to this amazing studio, 8 cameras, high def it's like unbelievable, and incredibly interactive. We send something to your home if you live in the United States. We do interactive stuff. I'm going to blow my own horn for a second. I've had people say, literally, because I've now done 5 of them, or 6 of them now, virtual. They've said, I forgot I was on a Zoom call. Because, by the way, this is sort of the energetic part. You can create an energy that people are like forgetting that they have kids, and they forget, like, right? You get sort of pulled in. Think about a television show. We get pulled in. Right. And so this virtual world, it's very successful what we're doing these days. I think it's going to be a hybrid world, by the way, a little bit of both. Right. So the green light event, let me do one commercial for why green light.
Please.
So it's a term from Hollywood. So I come out of the acting industry, New York and LA. Green light means you offer your script, your concept, your television show idea to a bunch of producers all over town. And some production company goes, we're going to green light that project. Meaning we're going to give it money, we're going to give it time, we're going to possibly get that on air. So the terminology means we're going to green light you. In my event, I'm operating from I'm going to green light you. You need to be green lit. You need to be said, yes. It's time. I want to. It's my time. The other part of green light, I picked green on purpose. It's about money.
I already have my ticket.
And then I won't tell you the secret fun. There's always a fun theme we always play with. I don't want to tell you, but it has to do with the color green. I always like fun themes, right? Yeah. But I don't want to. That'll reveal itself on the first day because it's sort of fun.
Wow.
So there you go.
Well, I can't wait, but I want to make sure that people know how to get a ticket at the friend rate, at the Jean rate, right? So it's thegreenlightevent.com/friend. If you're my friend, right. Listen, you want to be my friend today, at least, to get the ticket at the $47 rate. I bought my ticket like a month ago. Not sure what I paid, but it doesn't matter because I could have paid 17 times that. And I know that I would have gotten my money's worth out of that. So.
Well, thank you for that trust in me. And I do feel solid about creating experiential events to really juice it,
Me too.
So, and I want to do a quick moment back to you, Jean. I know you and I connect a lot. We're sort of coaching buddies for each other, and we support each other. I just, for those of you that follow Jean, and I want to tell you the wisdom you've offered me and the insight and the strategy. You're like a brilliant strategist. I can kind of get the frothing going, and then you come in and go, and here's the strategy part. So for those of you that hang out with Jean, or like don't, or you should.
Well, thank you.
So yeah,
I'm really grateful for that compliment and, appreciate
yeah,
you so much. And I just
yeah,
want you to know, I don't give it away, but what we talked about on Friday that I'm for
yeah.
the event that I'm doing with my clients, the contract is signed and deal is made, and it's gonna be super flippin' fun, right? Because
And
it's
so it
always
is.
always about the fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Right?
It is. And if it's not fun for and let's be real, not fun every second of the
Oh,
day,
yeah.
but
You'll
if
be cool.
if it is sort of fun to put your thing into the world, then, Southwest is hiring. I always tell my Southwest, go hand out peanuts and make a living, but if you're one of those people that you just cannot not do this, and in my language, and again, I feel blessed to have written a book for the Hay House family. The language I do is I want to help people play their bigger game, right? And what bigger game means is bigger impact, right? So,
Well,
Jean Kuhn, you're a goddess. Thank you so
thank you,
much.
and, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing to come and talk to everybody on
Oh
my
my God.
podcast and sharing your milk crate moment because I so resonated with that, feel like I lived that life, and, so
Right.
glad it's over with, right? So glad it's
I
over with,
know, right?
yeah.
It really does shift you when you,
Yes,
just like acting, when you practice, it starts to get better.
yes.
And in the beginning, it was a meltdown. Now it's a breakthrough,
Right. And I love
right?
Rick, you couldn't have picked a better title because I think more
Yeah.
business owners would be successful. I always ask people at the end of the
Yeah.
podcast, it's like, what one piece of business advice could you give to every other entrepreneur out
Yeah.
there? I'm gonna ask you for it.
Yeah. Business advice. Um, well, there's a being and a doing. The being is be a business. Know that you have a business. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, I sort of have a business and I'm part time. No, be a proud business
Right.
owner, right? The doing, I'm a fan of this thing right now with a lot of our clients is either have a new or a reopening for business party.
Hmm.
Like this is, it might sound like a bookstore opens, like, oh, doors are open, like we're opening on Thursday, first day. So a lot of times you want to have an opening moment if you haven't opened yet officially for business, or if you have, you can reopen. Like like you reframe it and you rename it and go, I'm having a reopening of my business moment, and tell the world, invite the world virtually and literally, like physically and virtually.
I love it.
People love to actually support openings of things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like new pizza shop, let's go. So I'm always a fan of like have an opening party,
Oh, I love that.
right? So that's a doing thing.
Mhm.
Again, everybody's like timing wise. Well, I've been in business for 5 years. Do a reopening
A
party.
grand
Just make up a
reopening,
new
kind of like
yeah, there's the term. I was looking for the term, a grand
yeah.
reopening.
I love it. I'm gonna share one thing because I'm gonna take what you
Please.
said and tag on to that, and then I'll let you go, is that I really
Yeah.
loved what you said at the beginning, act as if, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's going on as long as you can just when you can't feel it, you can act it. And if you can act it, you can do it.
Yeah. And there's lots of theories out there that if you act as if, it starts to become true.
Yes. Right. I think we all in
That's
that spiritual world believe that.
yeah, that's sort of the metaphysical, like believe it and it will be. It's it not that great movie? Build it and they will come. That's why the world loved that movie. It was totally like build a baseball field. Oh, look, they showed up. Right? Like build a business. Oh, look, they showed up.
You better tell
So
somebody. If you're gonna build a business, you better tell.
yeah, I know you need to like yeah, you need to have a little marketing
Exactly.
moment.
Rick, thank you so much for being here
You're
today.
welcome.
I'm so grateful for you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for the time,
Thank
and
you.
I will see you hopefully in Phoenix next week.
Yes, you
Okay.
will. Thanks,
All right, take care.
everybody.
Bye.
Blessings. Have a great yesterday.